All right, so 2022's The Menu is directed by Mark Mylod, screenplay by Seth Rice and Will Tracy. It stars Ralph Fiennes as Chef Slowick, Voldemort himself. Look at that. Anya Taylor-Joy as Margot. We also have Nicholas Hoult as Tyler, Hong Chow as Elsa, and John Leguizamo as movie star. That is what he's credited as, at least on IMDb. But yeah, there's a lot of other cast members in this movie, but those are pretty much for the main part. For the most part, the big names in the film as well as the main players. But yeah, pretty great cast, very great writing in this movie, and just a lot of creativity behind it as well. For those of you who haven't seen the trailers, basically you have this guy, Chef Slowick, who brings these people in and gives them, I believe it's like a 10-course meal, something like that. They're all small portions, as it should be for these types of meals that you're paying, you know, thousands of dollars for. Oftentimes, with these food snobs, they get such small portions, and they're like, "Oh, this has an aroma of such and such." You know those types of people, and those are the types of people that dine here, and these are the types of people that are in this movie. And the one standout is Margot, because she's the one person that really isn't supposed to be there. She doesn't have much interest in the food. In fact, she doesn't even eat some of it at times. And that really makes Chef Slowick angry, but also intrigued. And he feels challenged by it in ways that he probably hasn't felt challenged in years. And that's the interesting thing. There's a moment in this movie where Margot is talking to his character, or Margot is talking to Chef Slowick, and she's talking about something from her past, saying, "Oh, I used to like it, but not so much anymore." And then she asks him about his job, and he says the same thing. And you can tell with her character there that she is the one that challenges him. She is the one that makes him love being a chef, especially in this movie. Like, obviously we don't know outside of anything, but at a time we imagine he was a happy person and a different person, and she's the person that comes in and makes him feel like he used to about being a chef. And that's an element of this movie that I really love. A lot of the elements that I love about this movie as well is just the style overall. um, when it comes to introducing food, they put text on the screen saying the name of the dish and describing what's in it and what it's all about. And they do that for each food and each course, and it's very stylistic. I very much like it. And honestly, when it comes to these food snobs and stuff like that, you can kind of almost excuse me, you can almost equivalate it to people like me who review movies and whatnot. Like, it extends to more than just food. These are types of people that exist in all types of mediums when it comes to, and they even talk about it in the movie. I believe it's Nicholas Holt's character who says, you know how people have things like idols for sports and movie stars and musicians and all that. That's how I feel about food. And it really can be just this type of film can be taken from the food aspect and put into literally anything else. And that's the kind of aspect about this movie that I don't necessarily love, because I feel like it's the type of movie that if you take the food out, this could be. I mean, the story would pretty much be the same if you took the food out, I feel like, for the most part, which isn't. Maybe that's not completely true, because I feel at times the food can almost be a character itself. Um, but there's also times in this movie, like, yeah, it almost feels like there's two different movies here. There's a movie that's very stylistic and fun, and can be brutal, and I mean, this movie very much is a satirical dark comedy, so there's fun elements of humor in there that really do work well. And then there's just some elements in here that don't feel completely original and feel like they're going a bit by the book when it comes to films like this. But for the most part, this does feel original. It does feel fresh. It does feel unique. There's a lot of really great performances in this movie, especially Ralph Fiennes as Chef Slowick. Um, you know, that actor having played Voldemort before. There are moments in this movie where I couldn't help but just see Voldemort, but that being said, he still did fantastic in this film. They didn't really leave it open for any sequels, but I would be interested in a sequel for in some shape or form of this set in this universe, and maybe in a different area such as sports or movies or music or whatever it might be. Have this type of movie in different settings, and that's kind of a gift and a curse with this movie. That's kind of the thing I came out of the movie feeling like. I feel like this could turn into a franchise of just doing the same thing over and over, but in different settings. And I don't know. Yeah, like I said, it's a gift and a curse. It's a cool thing, but it's also, it could get out of hand. But maybe this will just be a standalone film. I think it will be, and I hope so. They did a great job with this one for sure. Will it end up on my top 10 best of this year? Probably not, but there's a lot of elements to it that I do really enjoy. The satirical slash dark humor aspect of it, like I said, really works. I went on a Saturday afternoon, 3:50 p.m. Theater was decently packed, not like full theater or anything like that, but people were laughing throughout the film. People were having fun, and it's a fun movie to watch in the theater with the crowd for sure. When it comes to being at home, I'm not sure how much it would hold up. But personally, this feels like the kind of movie I'd rather watch at home. And maybe I'm a little biased because after I got out of the movie, it was snowmageddon outside, so I wasn't very happy to drive home in that. But for the most part, this does seem like one of those movies I would rather watch at home. But if I had the opportunity to watch at home, would I? Probably not. But personally, I think I'm gonna give it a decent ranking. Which, by the way, if you didn't watch my review for Spirited, starring Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, highly recommend checking that review out. But I have a new ranking system, so I'm not just ranking things from 1 to 10 because a lot of movies, if you've seen a number of my reviews, end up being in that 6 to 7 to 8 range, and I'd like to shake it up a little bit. But let me run you through this ranking real quick. At the top, I have Leave Your House Immediately. If it's a movie on streaming or if it's a TV show, you know, same difference, whatever. Turn on your TV immediately, watch it immediately. That's the concept. But Leave Your House Immediately is going to be a very rare ranking of me to use. So if I use it, you'll know that I mean it. The tier below that is Weekend Plans. So watch it opening weekend in the theater. Tier below that is Avoid the Crowds. Wait a couple weeks to watch it in the theater, maybe go during the afternoon on a weekday, skip the crowds, have the theater to yourself. That's always a fun experience, honestly, just being able to relax and not have to worry about people around you making too much noise or whatever it might be. But yeah, below, the tier below that is Rent It, so pay to watch it at home, whether it be Redbox, Vudu, VOD, whatever it is. Tier below that is Stream It. So if it appears on a streaming service you already own, maybe add it to your list and check it out, but don't go out of your way to buy the streaming service that it's on just for that. And then the tier below that is last week's leftovers. And my description here is might not be completely horrible, but you might regret it later. Tier below that is throw it in the trash. Those leftovers have turned. Um, but at the same time, could it be worse? Probably. And then the tier below that, throw it in the trash and set it on fire. Pretty much as bad as it gets. But hey, there is a tier below that. And that tier is a Chernobyl level disaster. And my description for that one is how did this film get made or TV show or whatever it might be? And if you like this film or TV show, seek medical attention immediately. So yeah, that's my new ranking system. Comment down below, tell me if you like it or not. I might change it up a little bit over time, but for now, that's just kind of what it is in terms of ranking movies and TV shows. But yeah, for this movie in particular, I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it a Avoid the Crowds. I don't think this is a movie you need to see immediately, but at the same time, maybe try to go when the theater isn't completely empty, so you have a handful of people in there to experience it with you, and get few laughs out of it. It's always good to laugh at something as a crowd because it makes you enjoy it more. But do you have to be in a packed theater where you're sitting next to two strangers? Not at all. Not for this movie. And for me personally, did I have to go watch this movie and risk, you know, driving into a ditch on the way home because of snow? Not really worth it there, but yeah, I would say avoid the crowds, wait a couple weeks. But again, like I said, try to find a showtime where there are a decent amount of people in there where you can still be comfortable and away from people, but you can still enjoy the film and all that. So yeah, there's my review for The Menu. Not a super comprehensive review. I mean, there's elements of it I like, and there's elements of it that I don't. The things I like far outweigh the don'ts, but at the same time, it didn't completely pull together a perfect movie for me. This isn't something I'd rush. I mean, I guess I did, but this isn't something I would watch the first weekend if I didn't review movies for. I guess I can't say a living, but as a hobby. If I didn't review movies as a hobby, this wouldn't be a movie I'd probably see at all. But uh, opening weekend, no, not so much. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Leave a like on the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload, and I will see you in the next one.